Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules here for WhatCulture with another episode of the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. The show that does exactly what it says on the tin in the most annoying way possible. You're welcome. Now, before we start, I just want to have a few bits of admin to clear before we start the show. Yes, the Wheel of Feel is back, and I know that a lot of people have been saying that there wasn't you having a giraffe moment on there, but that's because it's going to be a section in each show. It deserves its own thing. It's not going to be limited by the random spin of a wheel. And secondly, yes, it is a new hat. Thank you to my good friend Phil, who gave me this hat recently. I'm very happy to have this.
Found it outside, mate.
It's the thought that counts. Anyway, we've got a lot to cover, so let's hit that intro. Right, so the first spin of the wheel today is going to be on 5-star wrestling. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? It is upset, and I am a bit upset about this because seeing a promotion die is never any fun at all. But they did kind of shoot themselves in the foot quite a bit. For those of you who don't know, it's a UK promoter, 5-star wrestling, which has unfortunately folded this week. Unfortunately, getting the kind of jokey nickname 5-show wrestling because they never really hit the ground running with this. They had a TV deal, they had the talent. Carlito was one of the talents, and they even had a lot of sponsorship money behind it as well. But the one thing they didn't really seem to have is a clear plan because they tried to be the WWE without actually having the weight or gravitas of the WWE to pull it off. Now, I'm not trying to be harsh, but the company was riddled with problems, mainly because the fact that we know, running our own wrestling promotion, that having any sort of tournament with lots of people flying in to do it is can be quite cluster-f***y. And they decided to do a 128-man tournament. So yeah, it was a bit mad and ambitious for them to try that. I'm not laughing at their demise, by the way. It's insane to think that anyone would try that in the first place. Now, that's not to say anything of the talent. I mean, the booking of this was done pretty badly. They actually said that they were going to pay talent for show dates, and then they cancelled show dates and left talent scrambling to find new work or basically rearrange to meet the new dates. It was all a bit bad, really. That being said, massive props to the talent on show here, because even though there was only about 100 people on average in every UK arena show that 5-star were putting on, they still worked the absolute room. And again, a massive, huge credit to Joe Hendry for stepping up on commentary. So even though 5-star is gone, many might say it never really had a chance to begin with. See you later, pal. Spin number 2, what it do? Okay, and we are looking at happy. And you know what? I am pretty happy because up until recently at Wrestle Kingdom 12, you might remember that Tanahashi, the guy who pretty much carried New Japan Pro Wrestling through before it reached its golden era, a lot of people were saying a few bad things about him. You may not know about this, but basically he had a match with Jay White, and a lot of people thought that basically he was done. He was officially too old. He failed to get Jay White over, and the match wasn't that great. I watched it. I thought it was really nice. I thought it was a really fine match, but apparently I was in the minority. People even started questioning Gedo. Now, he's the big booker behind New Japan Pro Wrestling, and as resident writer Michael Sidgwick would say, you don't with Gedo. He loves him quite a lot. But luckily, all fears were put to rest this week because New Japan had the final of their New Japan Cup, which saw Tanahashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. Now, even though Tanahashi lost, it was a victory for both men. He proved, hands down, that he has still so much more to give, and Zack, my God, is he a white-hot property right now. Now, Zack's submission-based wrestling style is unique in making it an entirely fascinating thing to watch. And all of the massive hits, all of the subtle storytelling of this cup made this must-watch TV. In long form, think of this entry as a love letter to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, they've just put on a fantastic gold-plated tournament, and with the Super Juniors and the G1 Climax tournaments coming up as well, it's still going to only be like bronze on that podium. They are that good at the moment. So that's the long form version. In short, New Japan Pro Wrestling rocks. Call me an indie mark. I don't care. I like what I like. And they did all of this without having the Bullet Club factor into it. Brilliant. Spin number 3, and it's on the ultimate deletion. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? It is happy! And you know what? Well, to put it plainly, Michael Cole began the segment of the Ultimate Deletion with an apology. He was apologising for what we were about to see. Do you know what, though? He owes us an apology because that match, however silly, however f***ing ridiculous it was absolutely brilliant. You owe us an apology, Michael Cole. In fact, Cole, you know what? Were you having a giraffe?
Having a giraffe, mate.
If you've not seen this, then do. It is utterly, utterly ridiculous and is maybe a little bit toned down actually from the total deletion stuff that was going on before back in TNA, but still it is a laugh riot and it's just so utterly silly that you can't help but love it. Now, I will admit that there are people out there who absolutely hate this style of like, it's so silly and over the top, they just can't get their heads around it. But for me, this is like a wake-up call. This is like having your eyes opened and then having LSD dropped into it. Because it's basically everything that Vince McMahon hates. Now, this isn't a technical masterclass. It isn't a wrestling clinic. It's not meant to be. It is, however, a message to the industry saying that we shouldn't take things so seriously. For Vince and all of his posturing, with all of his Roman world-conquering heroes he's trying to create, sometimes you just got to look at it and just be like, wrestling is silly. And I'm meant to enjoy this. I'm not meant to be getting caught up in a drama about dead bodies and fathers dragging around graveyards and whatnot that they've tried to pull in the past. Just let's have some fun with it. But you know what it really is a victory. Whether or not you like the segment or not, what Matt Hardy has done is take a concept that he built in a different promotion, bring it over to Vince's flagship show and get it to be on the main event of Raw. Like, even if nothing else happens now, even if it's just more silliness down the line of them laughing at each other and doing all of the stuff that we grew a bit tired of, he's won this battle. Vince has conceded and Matt has come out on top. Also, fingers crossed that Bray Wyatt gets a bit more invigoration after that dip in the lake. He needs it, please, please. But either way, happy with that. Well done, Matt. That rhymed. Brilliant. Okay, so we're taking a spin and we're talking about the lack of female representation in Saudi Arabia. 50-50. Actually, that is kind of what this is, because while the WWE have been making massive, massive strides with the women's division, there's a bit going on in Saudi Arabia with the lack of female representation in the Greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view that does need to be addressed. When you think about it, the WWE has done quite a lot with their women's division as of late. You've had Hell in a Cell matches, Iron Man matches, Elimination Chambers, Royal Rumbles. Yet they can't wrestle in Saudi Arabia. Now, far be it from me to tell another country how they should have their laws, but at the same time, it is a bit of a sobering thought, isn't it, when you look at how many matches are going on over there and how progressive they are outside of this country, and yet they're still very okay with just saying, nah, you stay at home. That's half the locker room, just stay back, the men have got this one. I don't know, it doesn't sit comfortably with me. It's quite irritating that there's not a fair representation, whereas on their home soil, I'd say that they're on pretty much 50-50 coverage with men at the moment. And there's been great match quality in the women's division at the moment, maybe not so much in terms of storyline, but there is potential with the likes of Asuka, you've got Sasha Banks versus Bayley, you've got Nia Jax versus Bliss, and whatever's going on with Ronda Rousey. There's potential there that unfortunately just isn't going to be seen at all in Saudi Arabia because women are banned from wrestling. It's just a bit weird and a bit two-faced of the WWE. I mean, you can't really expect much from a country that has quite terrible female equality rights, but you could probably, or hope to, have at least a bit more respect from the WWE themselves. Just a bit two-faced is all I'm saying. 50-50. And now for the go-home spin, it's on Daniel Bryan's return. I wonder what emotion I'm going to be feeling for this. Oh, look. It's happy! Yeah! Daniel Bryan is coming back. I know it's not breaking news, but it's the first time I've been able to talk about it. Yes! So yeah, Daniel Bryan, one of the most over wrestlers in North America and massive middle finger to Vince McMahon, is coming back to wrestle for the WWE. This is insane for two reasons. One, because it's Daniel Bryan, and two, it's really interesting to see this return, especially seeing as the WWE is so careful with anyone who suffered a concussion. And you know what? His return to the ring was pretty much pitch perfect. He spoke of being grateful. He thanked the fans and his family. He even said thank you to Bree. That was just a bit funny, that bit there. But the best part is then he backed it up when Sami, Zayn and Kevin Owens came down and he unleashed some absolute fire on the both of them. Maybe even a little bit too much, because it looked like he was going to sail out the ring with his second missile drop kick. But still, when those kicks hit, the nuclear reaction of the crowd was palpable. I drank it up. I ate it up. It was lovely. More, please. And the best thing is that we have a perfect fantasy booking opportunity right here. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. Oh, I wonder who could team up with Daniel Bryan to face those two. Oh, of course it would be Shane McMahon at Mania. That would be a very fine match indeed. However, it could kickstart the underdog part of his general storyline ethos by having Shane turn on him and then kicking in this whole higher power versus people's champion storyline. Or throw The Miz into that as well, and you have got a bubbling pot, which again, I just can't get enough. I'm such a messy boy eating with my hands. Long story short, welcome back, D-Bry. Hey. And there we have it, the most insane things happening in wrestling this week. Now to end the show the only way I know how, by reading out my favorite comment from last week's episode. Here we go. The giraffe, yes! Jules, can we please have a giraffe t-shirt? I'll take 12. If you want them, I'll get them printed, mate. I mean, I would love to go into the office, just lay my dick on the table and just say to the bosses, yeah, the fans have spoken. They're my champions. I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for them. And now they want t-shirts of a giraffe with some really horrible Dayglow things on. If you want it, let's make it happen. Put the hashtag down below, having a giraffe, mate. Let's get the boss's eyes on that. We'll make some merch. We'll have some fun. Anyway, that was the show. Massive love to Michael Sidgwick and Phil Chambers for their continued work on this project, and to you. Without you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for letting me be as annoying as I am in your ear holes. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome. Swing by WhatCulture.com for more news and articles like this every goddamn day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye! Whee!
So, thanks for watching. Please feel free to click on any of these things around my head, or something terrible might happen to the dog. Too sweet me, bro. Traitor. Traitor.